Alex Ansary here, February 25th, 2017, coming to you with my second podcast of the day. Really am rocking the new headset. I mentioned that I got it at the thrift store for $1, and there's something about not having to worry about the microphone, but it just being there that allows me to really focus on what it is that I'm going to say. People often ask me for advice with regards to starting a YouTube channel. I don't really think of myself as like an expert. I've definitely persevered over the years, and I've made it like my full-time thing. I wouldn't even say full-time. I would say that it's more part-time, but it can be time-consuming. And really, we're talking about the evolution of independent media. And I've also advocated like this from a political ideological split from the alternative media to the hashtag free media. Free media, not compromised by the race baiting, able to actually see the deceivers in our midst. Higher consciousness. Not necessarily new age, but people that are actually still able to see through left-right paradigm for a start. And we can continue from there. It would only take me about a minute to get through and they go, okay, I'm with the free media. And others are like, oh, that sounds like some libtard shit. I'm going to stay over here with the alt-right. We've seen a split. Making an income as an independent on YouTube is even more difficult when we deal with these splits. For anything like me, you stay true to your message. Not gonna get behind the president. And I watch this political shift, and then I watch support for myself plummet. So what's my marketing plan, huh? What's Alex Ansary gonna do now? Is Alex Ansary gonna go back? Is Alex Ansary gonna ask for forgiveness? I'll support Trump. Just donate here. No. My plan is simple. I will be true to myself, and I will go back to discussing my core topics and not let this political circus emotionally pull me in to this fight reality. And I'm going to draw on people that appreciate the diversity of content, that it doesn't stay political all the time, because there's a lot more of me to share with you. So my advice is to be yourself, but be the best that you can be at being yourself. And don't let anybody change that. So, basic advice. Hey, WordPress is easier than ever to run. Most people tell you you have a website that goes with your YouTube channel. And if there are people out there that don't do any writing, they just do videos, it shouldn't be very difficult to create a website to feature your videos. Now, I'm behind schedule on mine for my own personal reasons, but I put a lot of time into somebody else's website. That's one of those reasons. That's all going to change real soon. And I'm going to be branching out into an on-demand channel. I'm probably going to spend what little money I have left in my bank account. I have this when in Vegas type of a feeling. It's my 37th birthday. I'm not getting any younger. And I'm basically putting myself out there before the audience. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend $200 and pay for the 50 hours of HD to go independent while I can before things get really, really, really crazy. And we start making a lot less money while I still have something, even if it's my last dollar. Just like it was my last dollar when I paid for the title for my vehicle and my registration and the vehicle itself. All this money I had saved up over the winter went into this vehicle. Well, now I have the vehicle. And now, even though this is, a world where I can put up everything for free, I'm literally $200 towards 50 hours of HD content on an on-demand channel because it'll create another vehicle for income to come in. Where I put content that I put a lot more work into. And I miss putting a lot of work into my content. And it's time consuming. But see, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a means for people to contribute. Other people may choose to sell something, or they get involved in sales. There's other ways that some people make an income. There's the Google AdSense that also is related to the articles. So people that start a blog, and sometimes there are blogs that deal with health and wellness that don't deal with political stuff at all, that attract readers. They don't all go crazy like Mike Adams. He starts foaming at the mouth calling for the libtards to be deported to North Korea. They don't all, I don't know, he must have taken some of Alex Jones's male regression injections up the ass. I'm not sure. But most people that deal with the health and wellness field, unlike Mike Adams, naturalnews.com, they stick in that field and they don't get too political or psychotic with it. And so there are people that write about things like coconut oil pulling or something else, and it pulls people in, and they're making a living from those readers. And if they stay on topic and they stay in their niche and they don't offend people, they can build their readership up greatly. But see, if you're interested in the truth and telling your truth, even if it's controversial, you're going to piss a lot of people off. And I've pissed a lot of people off, and I've lost a lot of support. So I feel like I'm doing a seminar. I'm pacing back and forth. We're in Switzerland. Hello, I'm Alex Trudeau. You can make $1 million on YouTube if you put your mind to it. You can. We're not going that direct. People ask me for advice. It's like, okay, well, look at who you're asking for advice. Are you really going to ask me for advice? I mean, do you think like I'm making it? Wow. I'm barely making it, folks. I'm barely making it. In order to make it next year, in order to make it now, I'm changing. I don't even have a marketing plan. Well, I'm developing one. I'm going to make better content and put it over here now on the on-demand channel. And those that want to support my work, there's been enough in donations in the past. It's when I stopped. Well, I didn't stop doing anything. I just didn't get on board to come on, ride the Trump train and ride it. Ooh, come on, tweak the Trump train and ride it. Ooh. I'm actually dancing right now. But I mean, what a coincidence. I've been doing this for years and years. There's always been people out there supporting my work. I went off on a humpa train and ride it. And just the getting down. The people want to get down and knob that Putin. Oh, yeah. Please, master. Like, whoa. Like I set off an etheric bomb out there. It's like, boom. It means more to me to speak my independent view than take money from people that want me to be some sort of a tap dancer. Fuck your tap dance money. Take it back. I'm going to be myself. Ye don't have to donate to this if ye do not like the message. Right now I change it. Boom. Turn on its head. Like in Vegas, I'm going to let it ride, and I'm going to throw this money down on 50 hours of server space, and I'm going to continue my dialogue over there. And I'm going to build up that channel, and I won't have the same amount of comments and views at once. I will be patient and utilize probably, I'll have to, more hard work and patience and financial sacrifice by throwing down the money first before the subscribers to build that channel, because I got to pay for the server space. Build it and they will come. This is how I'm going to attempt to be self-sufficient and not have to depend on operate within Google or YouTube. To not have to depend on it. Will I still use it? Yes. Is there trouble coming? Trouble is already here. Trouble here now. Trouble here now. And donations not flowing like water. It's like there's some sort of a depression out there, but I'm not seeing, folks, the bank runs. Last I checked, everything was fine. What changed was too much information, all-you-can-eat buffet. Now this alternative media is seen as worthless. People are actually shocked when I came out onto the scene as a young man on cable TV, and they couldn't believe that I was talking about this stuff that young in my life. That's what some people don't understand. In a world where they were usually twice my age. And I came out swinging. And I made a lot of mistakes, still do, with speaking, enunciation, other things. But I dropped a lot of information. To the point where people are like, they're gonna pick you up, put you on the mainstream media, or they're gonna pick you up, they're gonna kill you, or something else. Even some people saying, one person who's no longer with us, Bob of Access TV, remember us when you're famous. They were just absolutely convinced I would end up somewhere. Although success is relative. One success is another person's failure. One's failure is another person's success. To be successful in my eyes is to be successful at getting out the message. And I can do that independently on my own. But I got to take care of my own personal health to do so. And sometimes that means turning what it is that I love to do into a living. And turning breadcrumbs into meat. Enhancing the meal itself. We'll start with, say, being able to afford one. To enhance the health and wellness. On a basic fundamental living level. I'm not going to dance around it. If this is a time for truth, and this is a time where so much has been taken from us and so many of us have been ostracized from regular society because we're quote-unquote truthers and seen as conspiracy theorists, we of all people are the people that need to find a way to raise an income in a world where they do support NPR. And people will support multimillionaires. People like Alex Jones and others, because in the psychology of that, well, they're already winning. They're supporting someone who's already successful, so they're somewhat maybe getting some of that success back to them, or they're enjoying rooting for the winning guy. The one that's the dominator, because they're into that number one, USA, number one. To the point where they don't want to support the underdog. When you support the underdog, $1 is like $10. $20 is like $200. It's a completely different paradigm when it comes to how valuable it is. And a lot of people don't think about this. Like, okay, thousands and thousands of subscribers. What if just a certain amount of them subscribe at $7.50 a month? What a difference they can make in that person's life if they all move together in a collective. You want to talk about a collective shift in consciousness? How about, boom, a collective support for an underdog to go somewhere? Advice. I want to keep giving advice. See, we're living in a world where, first of all, don't ever expect anyone to help you up in this, as far as other people in the alternative media. When it comes to building your audience and supporters, it is a dog-eat-dog world out there, unfortunately, and the ego tripping is off the charts. But don't confuse someone that wants to stay in their own space. I, more than ever, because of my experiences, want to stay in my own space. For someone else being stuck up, they may have reasons. They may have been fucked over by a lot of people. So we should all, including myself, and I use this discretion now, hold back from judgment if someone doesn't get back to us or want to work with us. You don't know who's fucked them over. You don't know who's fucked me over. You don't know how many emails I get. I don't know how many emails they get when I think that person never got back to me. Plenty of people have never gotten back to me that I've emailed, that I want to have on my program. And I understand some of them are very busy. Some of them have their own prejudices. They're not all racial. Some of them have their alternative media allegiances. Some of them have agreements to only go on certain shows, whether it be Coast to Coast, Alex Jones, or others. This is real. Real life contracts are spoken agreements. You'll come back as a regular. We'll be homies, but I get the exclusive. That's how Alex deals with a lot of people. Then there's the business, monetary side of it, and the sponsors and products, which is its own other paradigm. It's a dirty business. There are people that know the inner workings of the dirty business of the Patriot movement, and I don't know specifics. We all kind of understand the general concept, though. Some a little bit more than others. You do a little research online, you get an idea of the picture. Uh, Alternative media, independent media, anything fear-mongering, it's very profitable. But if you want to deal with the truth, you're going to be unraveling things that are going to be upsetting people's political realities. You're going to be talking about things that are real, that are less sensational, that are not going in line with the Alex Jones InfoWars disinformation talking points, and they're gonna see you as an enemy, a competitor. They're not going to see a place for you because Alex Jones is number one, and they're looking at this like a fucking war, not a cooperation, like a war. They might as well be the orcs from Lord of the Rings as far as I'm concerned. They are certainly not the other side depicted in the movie. They are straight up the orcs, working with the other barbarians, serving Solomon's army, serving Sauron itself. When you have people that are race baiting, that are putting their time and energy, see, I don't want to go down this road. I don't even believe there is any recovering to like a truth movement or alternative media after this. And you need to hear this. You need to hear this. Why? They're going to use what Alex Jones is doing to come after the little guy. Meaning it's going to be a lot harder for young men like me to come up, even to have what I've had in a few years possibly. YouTube can be a way for now for some of us to transition to on demand while there's still time, while our channels are still up. You know. And we have to work harder at the content. You know, think documentary films, put out information that you're passionate about, and try not to work with a model that's just based on sensationalism. Substance to your content. The way I look at my content and the way I see my future content, what I want to address this year, and the things that I'm going to start typing out, the scripts that I'm going to write. We're talking about stories and investigative reports that'll be incredibly valuable in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years. That should be seen on access community centers across the nation. They're not specific to one particular region. They're not specific to one particular era. They're not specific to one particular year. But are specific, relevant, valuable, educational to people around the world during all times and all years. What kind of information fits that bill? With regards to geopolitics and political, would it not be important to tell the story of just what happened here while we have the technology if we feel we're on this road to World War III? I say yes. I say the next few years are years to warn the world and not just the people of the U.S. about what's coming and show how these world leaders are linked together. That's just one of many things I think about often throughout the day. So we have to sustain ourselves. One has to eat. One has to sleep. One has to sustain themselves financially. And I have been running on fumes without properly sustaining myself up until this point. Barely surviving, never really selling a product on the website, bringing in no revenue through that mean, not even updating the website, putting out everything for free. Now we're looking at how we're in the crosshairs, and they can even use the whole Russian propaganda scare to go after people that even hate Putin, if you can wrap your mind around that one. Because I don't like that dude. He totally is a part of the New World Order. That's fucked up what they're doing. So a lot of people don't realize they've been listening to us for years, you know, that are in the audience. You know, we have to work to educate them. Unless you support the people that you enjoy, it's going to be a lot harder to access some of the information. And even if they're still up and operating, there's censorship, but then there's the covert way of censorship. And you know what it is in the world of social media? It's the apocalypse that already is. They change the algorithm so you become the invisible. It's already happening to me. You see it in the comment sections. Hey, I subscribed to your channel. I don't see your content anymore. Now you have to actually go and click on the bell next to the subscriber icon. And this is new to some of you listening to this podcast. Yes, Alex Answers content. You want to keep up with all of it. They change the algorithm. You got to go up. It's not just click on the subscription button. You got to click on the bell. I got to start, you know, when I get more batteries. I need to upgrade my equipment, folks, which I'm not financially able to do yet. But when I can, we'll do late night YouTube streams. we'll do late night YouTube streams. And so it does feel good on not only the host part, but also the part of the audience when at the same time people are working together to get a live show going, whether it be purchasing equipment or purchasing a computer. If a computer goes out, I certainly could use some backups. I have an audio recorder I purchased for like $20. Not a whole lot to invest, but it's going to help me do these podcasts without the need for the computer to be on, which is on right now with my new headset, which I bought at the thrift store for $1. It's just great. It works better than this piece of crap I bought brand new off Amazon for $15. So we really are in a period that's perfect to transition from the starving artist on YouTube, you know, putting hundreds of hours in some cases into their content only to see a few $100s, to going to another model of it not at all being about clickbait at all. I mean, it's nice to be accurate with your title, but it should never really be about the clickbait and the keywords and the title. And so they've monetized and rewarded people that will sensationalize bullshit without consequence. So they've got all these alternative independent media on this model that I haven't realized they've been mindfucked and taught to be dependent on Google. At any point, Google, the robots, YouTube, they can shut it off. So I'm not going to advocate 10 different paths, nor am I an expert. I'm advocating that people think about what's coming seriously, and I'm telling you that I'm doing it too. And I'm so serious about it, you know, and I believe sometimes in letting it ride. And I don't gamble in Vegas, but I'm going to take the few $100s that I have left in my bank account from the money that I earn from people watching my videos. And I'll put 200 into 50 hours. I'm going to do this probably in the next few days. Hopefully on my birthday, as I talked about in a previous video, people will subscribe so they can help me offset those costs. But basically by subscribing, that money's not going directly to me. In a way, it's looping back to this cost of 200 for the 50 hours of HD. From that point, I'm going to start charting out some really important things that need to be said. Some special reports. I'm going to think outside the box of them being documentary films or even being super well produced. But when we talk about history of certain regions on the planet, we talk about the nature of the sun. We talk about the path to World War III. We talk about valuable survival preparedness tips. There's also some self-defense information that I feel shouldn't be shown freely on YouTube, because I've seen how it wasn't appreciated for what it is when I did put it on YouTube. So I think self-help, I think how-to, I think advanced knowledge and information that listener deserves, and to talk to that listener or viewer like a friend. Not someone passing by who may be listening to the lecture, who may be throwing rotten peaches and tomatoes from the background, disrupting the classroom. All behavior that we see and the energy that we feel from a lot of people popping upon the YouTube channels. I'm a super sensitive individual, and I've been affected fairly well by energy some of you don't even understand that seem to live inside this YouTube box. Okay, that energy, whether you acknowledge it or not, doesn't want you to succeed with the true light or truth on YouTube. Not unless you want to camouflage it in the false light or a clickbait. If you want to get on that false light clickbait nature of the conspiracy or new age fake channeled movement, yes, you can have 500,000 subscribers. Or 500,000 views on a video. Here's the latest from Archangel Michael and the endorsement of the Trump-Putin world presidency 2020. You think I'm joking? I've seen the patterns, folks. And the goal is to build your own platform. Of course, you can bypass certain on-demand companies. You can build your own infrastructure if you have the money. If you have your own servers, maybe you have friends that'll give you a lot of server space. Maybe you have people that'll set that up. I don't, and I've asked for years. So I stopped asking for years. I decided on a company. I picked a name. It's outside the box. .vhx.imtv. It's not even my name. And so I'm going to stay true to my roots. And I will continue my commentary. Spiritual, social, and political. Others have done well, by the way, with podcasts. And that's what this is, by the way. This is a podcast to put out a message. And I am going to continue with the podcast. And, perhaps at some point I'll have a volunteer follow through and set up some sort of thing with iTunes. And maybe we'll get my voice to iTunes, get these podcasts. I'm going to let the audience help out with that. If that's a task that somebody wants to step up to. But the podcasts really are informal. They really are, So I'm going to steer away from doing a regular show. I realize that video is one of my talents. Whether it's a documentary film, whether it's traveling. And there's a bright future for it. And sometimes you have to take sacrifices, and you have to be willing to lose out on your investment. It's like renting a building in a place. Maybe they will come and buy stuff, but you still have to spend the money on the rent and move into the location. Me going from YouTube to going to VHX, it's coming with an expense of $200. That probably can go to other things in my life that I need. Instead, I'm going to roll the die. I'm not actually going to go to Reno for my birthday. That actually was the plan a few months ago. I'm going to roll the die, and then I'm going to embark on putting much more of myself into those videos. With the faith that if you build it, they will come. So that's my advice. That's my advice in less than 30 minutes. For those on YouTube, to improving your income subtly, to preparing for a Google YouTube doomsday. There's going to be a lot of people hating on you. They're going to be calling you a beggar when really they're begging for free content. And that's really what it is, by them insulting someone, giving them content for free. Okay, times are changing. Okay, there may come a time, or maybe their minds will be erased, and they'll be numb from all the drugs in the air in their body. But if not, and they're conscious in a post-American day of censorship, of real independent media, there'll come a time that they miss having an independent view that was so freely delivered to them. So I would say, prepare now. Prepare now for the cyber realities and other realities of tomorrow. With that, Alex Hanser here signing off. It's the second podcast of my birthday, this February 25th, 2017.